What's good, everybody? This episode of the podcast is sponsored by DistroKid. They are the go-to for digital music distribution and the easiest way for musicians to get their music onto Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, TikTok, YouTube, and more. They offer unlimited uploads, and artists keep 100% of their earnings, getting your music onto platforms and into stores 10 to 20 times faster than any other distributor. They help with cover song clearance, automatic splits, and they offer all kinds of tools and templates to help you get the most visibility for your releases. I dig this company and appreciate their business model that offers more features and tools than any other distributor while doing it at the most affordable price for solo artists, bands, DJs, studio artists, and any other creators that are making music or producing music in their home, and they offer label services as well. They've got 3 different tiers that they offer to creators that start as low as $22.99 a year. That's just $1.92 a month. And even their top tier is only $7.50 per month. And the best part about DistroKid sponsoring the podcast is they are offering Dan Cable Presents listeners 30% off their first year of service with DistroKid, making their affordable prices even cheaper for you. I will put that discount link in the episode notes. It will also be in my Instagram bio. Big shout out to DistroKid for sponsoring this podcast for more than 3 years now. Much appreciated. Now let's get into the episode.
Looking down at the corner of the slow
What is happening, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Dan Cable Presents podcast. Thank you for tuning in to the program once again. If this is your first time listening, thanks for checking out the show. You can find fresh episodes coming at you on Tuesdays. And if you want to help support this thing in a free way, you can do so by clicking subscribe on iTunes, clicking write a review, giving the podcast 5 stars if you feel like it is deserving of so. That will help propel this thing into the tops of those iTunes charts, giving it more visibility on the national and international levels, helping strangers find the podcast. Just a great way to, raise the signal of this thing and spread its visibility. So I appreciate the hell out of all the folks that have already taken the time to do so. If you're not listening on Apple, just hit like and follow wherever you are listening from. If you're watching on YouTube, you can click subscribe there. And as always, please, tell a friend about the podcast if you're enjoying it. I think that's still more the most impactful way to spread the word about this thing. Hope everybody is doing well out there. I'm feeling a mix of inspired and exhausted. Just spent the weekend out at Pendarvis Farm here in Happy Valley for the Pickathon Music Festival. I've been going out there for nearly a decade now, and it's just one of my favorite parts of the summer is getting to go out there and see a bunch of music that I'm usually unfamiliar with. They do such a great job of curating a lineup for music discovery, and I would say for this weekend, big thing was discovering singer-songwriter Hannah Hill, who just has this incredible voice and these just cutting lyrics, just so emotionally raw. Really glad I got to see her play, and I got to do a live interview with her, which was a lot of fun, and also got to see legend of the game, Brazilian bossa nova legend Marcos Valle. That was so cool. This dude is like 80 years old and just still absolutely crushing. His band was amazing, and that was definitely one of the more fun sets of the festival that I personally got to catch. So thank you to Pickathon for having me out there once again. Looking forward to getting back out there next year. But this week on the podcast, episode 477, we've got Elly on the podcast. I have been trying to get this dude on the podcast probably since this thing started. I've had the opportunity to watch Elly play music for nearly a decade now. I've booked a few of the shows that they've played in Portland, and I've just kind of gotten to witness the growth of the songwriting over time, and I've been bugging this dude to do the podcast for as long as I can remember. But I feel like it happened at the right time. I think this was one of those ones that was really important to me, that it happened, and that it happened before we hit the 500 mark, which feels both close and far away. I think we're on pace for that to happen sometime in June of 2027. But Elly put out this EP called Then It Leaves maybe a couple months ago, and it is just this incredible collection of tunes that is crafted so well. The production on it is amazing, and it's just like one of the most notable Portland releases that I can remember coming out of this city. It definitely like sits up on this list of things that are very impactful to me. And I was just so stoked on the conversation that we had. It was really the first time that we had the opportunity to sit down one-on-one and kind of like get to know each other on a deeper level, and just like get a better understanding for the music background and the foundation that this music has been built upon. And I am just really grateful that we got to have this chat, and couldn't have been more pleased the way that it flowed. And it was just such an easy one to just kind of sit back and let the conversation go where it was going to go. And I feel like it covered a lot, or most of the things, if not all of the things that I wanted to talk to Elly about. So I'm really excited to share this one, and I can't encourage you enough to check out Elly's music. The links will be in the episode notes. I will share some clips from that new EP. There's also a full-length record, I believe, called Monstrosities, and that is available exclusively on Bandcamp, and that will also be in the episode notes. We talk about that collection of tunes in this conversation as well. But if you have the opportunity to see Elly live, do it, okay? I'm telling you to do it. It's you're not going to be disappointed, whether it's a solo show or it's a full band show. You are going to experience the undeniability, and I think that undeniability translates very well into the Then It Leaves record. And I think that's all I have for you. I'm about to leave on tour for the rest of August, but I've got an episode or two backlogged for you, so we'll talk to you in a couple weeks from the road. I'll be out there with La Luz. If you're in any of the cities that La Luz is coming to for their August tour, I'll be out there. I'll be selling that merch. I think we're in Portland on like August 21st, but that show is also sold out. So if you don't have a ticket, I'm not sure that information is super helpful to you, but we're going as far east as Colorado for that King Giz and the Wizard Lizard Festival Field of Vision. Really excited for that one. Probably hopefully a highlight of my summer. It's going to be absolutely psychotic and chaotic from what I gather. Those are my thoughts. But until then, we're hitting you with episode 477. Also, if you're new to the podcast and you enjoy this chat, please go back and check out more of the catalog. I just had another incredible chat with another great songwriter and producer, Sam Weber, on the previous episode. I feel like this is kind of back-to-back bangers of episodes with songwriters, producers. It's just really cool, the chats that have been happening in this studio as of late, and very grateful for people being willing to continue to come in here and talk to me about their art and making things. So appreciate you all. And to get into things, we are going to play the first track off of the Then It Leaves EP from Elly. This one is called Meeting in the Park. Now let's do the damn thing.
It's just a meeting in the park, don't lose your head. It's just a feeling, it'll start then move away. Hey, is this the beating of a heart of a restless light? Birds singing at the start of a brand new day. Hey, oh, once it gets dark,
Going straight to Cal sheet.
Into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I'm so excited you're here.
Yeah, I'm really happy to be here. I've been trying to talk to you forever.
This is a finally
I know.
moment for me right here.
This is like a 8 years in the making sort of thing going
Something
on.
like that, dude. It's got to be close.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I was thinking back to like maybe first time I met you, and I think it was at Alberta Street Pub.
It was, yeah.
Keisha Dower was like having an album release show, and I helped her put that together. And I remember she was like, I want this guy Elliot to open the show, and I was like, yeah, cool, sure,
Yeah.
whatever. This is your thing, you know. Had no idea who you were.
Yeah.
Omari was with you that
Omari,
day.
shout out Omari. Yeah. Omari was there?
I swear he was there
at
with
the
you.
Alberta Street. He would have gone to that
You guys
show
were
because that was
hanging
like my
out.
first real show in Portland. That was like my first me show
Yeah.
ever. I was just doing open mics for a long time, but that's how I met Keisha back in the day. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but that was, I still remember it. Yeah, that was a big moment for me back then.
Dude, I was blown away by your music that
Thanks,
night,
man.
you
Yeah.
know? And like, yeah, I've been a fan since.
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
I know that, I don't know, how many shows do you think that you've played in Portland?
Literally like basically none. I mean,
maybe like 5?
well, I was thinking about it and I was like, wasn't there some show at like it wasn't maybe the Gold Dust Meridian or something like that in the
It
basement?
was right next to it at
Okay,
Growlers.
yeah.
So that's what I've booked at least 2 out of the 5 shows
Yeah,
that
thank
you've
you.
maybe
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
But yeah, I was booking that basement space in Growlers
Yeah.
called the Library for a while.
Is that place still?
No, it
kicking?
went before COVID happened,
yeah.
unfortunately. It was a cool little space.
I loved that spot. That was crazy.
It was like a house show vibe.
Yeah, that was who was I opening for that day? Do you remember?
You were opening for Gabbia and the Blue Gleams, which was a band from Seattle
I remember.
that my cousin was playing in at the time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good times.
And then I've been to maybe the other 2 shows that you've played.
The Kenton Club was one of them.
Yeah.
And then I played a show at the White Owl.
Okay.
I was trying to, for the first 7 years in Portland, I was trying to figure out what the fuck I was trying to do, essentially. I used to play with like an Ableton setup. I don't know if you remember that. I had like a MIDI controller and I had like the auto-tune pedal and I was doing like a Ableton, like I guess backing tracks sort of thing, but like more like improvisational stuff going on. But and then COVID hit and I was like, all right, I'm gonna figure something else out because I'm not enjoying doing this really. So yeah.
What were you not enjoying about that?
I just
setup?
like, I don't know, it was cool, but I'd rather have like a live band. Should I talk louder or
You're
something?
great.
Okay,
I was just
all right.
every once in a while, I just make sure this thing is still recording. 'Cause
Okay,
I
cool.
have my own anxieties about
For sure,
all
for
this
sure.
DIY nature of the thing.
Yeah, it's
You're
all-
doing great. You're
Okay.
talking at a reasonable volume.
Okay. Hello. No, I was I just had always done live performance stuff, and I think I was too nervous to even. Well, before I was doing Ableton stuff, I was doing a lot of. I would go to like when I moved here. I didn't know anybody when I moved here, and so I would just start going to open mics, and I had a loop pedal, and I did mostly like a lot of loop pedal stuff, and then that kind of has a limit on it, like the types of songs that you can kind of prepare for loop pedal stuff. Like everything you write with a loop pedal has to be. It limits your songwriting kind of, especially in like a live context. So then I tried out Ableton for a while, and doing Ableton stuff live is really sick. Like I really fuck with it, but I don't know, especially since releasing all the EP and album and stuff like that, I'm like, I just want to do like band live shows and stuff like that, you know?
for sure.
It's just more fun, and it's just more crazy, and it's just more. You can go at a time. You can veer off into more interesting places. I think.
Yeah. It was cool getting to see the release show at the Ken and like see you play with a band, and it was all these people I was super familiar with playing in your band that night.
The goats of the Portland music community all signed up for me. I was so thankful about it. It was crazy.
That was definitely like a can't miss show for me.
Yeah, it went okay. It went all right. Okay,
it was amazing.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that was actually my first time ever going to the Kenton Club. Too.
Really, that was about my 598th time. I live about like 5 blocks away from there, so that's definitely my neighborhood pub. So I was talking to people and they were like, "You're doing the Kenton Club right now?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, I'm doing the Kenton Club." Yeah,
you really put me on to that spot.
I love it.
Because I kind of walked away from it being like, man, this is a really cool venue. Like this divey bar, but has such a vibe with where the stage area is. Yeah. And it was just kind of fun knowing that there was just kind of patrons of the bar there also. Like people that did not show up to see your music that night.
Yeah. That were just, I would be playing songs, and in between the songs I would hear the slot machine winds. Yes. So that's literally my favorite sound in the whole world. So
so cool.
It's great to fucking end a super emotional song and just hear big win.
I feel like it I don't know, some levity maybe to
it
the
is levity.
it
takes the pressure
what you're presenting up there
for sure. I wanted to play. I was thinking about doing the release show at it's this newer venue. I'm not gonna remember the name of it. Never mind.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of a dead end.
Where's it at?
It's in Northeast. It's like it has like a ballroom or something.
Yes.
What is that place called?
Is it the Deacon Street Ballroom, or is it?
I don't think so.
It's not Laverne's.
Laverne's. That's what it is. Yeah, Laverne's.
Okay.
I was thinking about playing at Laverne's. Yeah. I think I might have hit them up. I don't remember, but either way, I really like that place, and I would love to get a show going there at some point too. So
if you're listening,
Laverne's.
Anyone from Laverne,
Laverne.
He's here.
Here's me. This is me.
Yeah.
This is what I want from you.
Tell me about where are you from, and like what was the vibe of like the upbringing, and how did you like get in to like what was your early interest in music?
I was thinking about that earlier today. I saw some Instagram reel, but anyway, that's irrelevant. But I am from Alabama. I'm from Birmingham, Alabama. I mean, technically I spent the first 10 years of my life in Washington, D.C., like outside of Washington, D.C. in Maryland. But my family's all from Alabama. I would spend all my summers in Alabama, and definitely, like, especially when I think back now, D.C. is just like, I don't remember anything about it. Even like, usually you start remembering things around 5. There's so much of my early childhood that I'm like, I don't remember any of that shit at all. But Alabama, I remember everything about Alabama. But my dad my dad is a musician. He's like he does a lot of like instrumental rock and like surf rock and like kind of 60s like lounge rock and roll sort of stuff, and he's a great guitarist, and he definitely kind of was playing constant music for me as a kid. Like when I was a really little kid, like he was one of those parents that he just listened to very obscure music, extremely obscure music. Like my whole childhood was like Brian Eno, like so much Brian Eno stuff, and like all of the David Bowie, like Berlin era, the Berlin trilogy stuff. And
he wasn't listening to a lot of straight ahead pop music.
No, not at all. Okay. And so I thought that Brian Eno was like regular type of music. Like I thought that was like what everybody, what all the people were listening to. But my older brother, he played viola, and that was another kind of thing that he was like, he's 3 years older than me, and I would watch him play viola, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. But I remember having this distinct memory where we were, me and my parents were walking by a music shop, and I have this distinct memory of looking up into the music shop, and I saw a violin, and I was like, that's cool. I want to play that. And so I was lucky enough that my parents were like, all right, let's get you doing violin now. And I was like, okay. And then I think I was 7 when that happened. So I started playing violin at 7. That's my memory of that situation. That might be a false memory. You know what I mean? Like that might be a narrative that I constructed when I was like 18 or something.
Isn't that fucked up that that's like totally a possibility?
Yeah.
That, like all these memories that you have could potentially be false memories.
Yeah, I think most of them probably are. I mean, like, especially that one, like in this version of my memory, I was just walking around and I saw. I'm sure what probably actually happened was that my parents were like, "You play violin now," and I was like, "All right, cool, I'll play the violin." But I was really fascinated with music, though. Always, like even from a very young age, I was very rhythmically inclined little kid, But my parents put me into like classical lessons and stuff like that, and I was kind of I was like the violin kid in like elementary school.
Okay.
Like, you know, that was I was terrible at school. I was really, really bad at school. Like, I don't remember doing my homework one time, like ever. I have no memory of doing my homework, but because like from a young age, I was like the violin kid. So that was where all my ego and all of my pride lived. So I'd just be like, I'm just playing the violin. That's
Did you like it?
I think I liked the idea of it, maybe. Yeah. I liked music, but playing the violin and practicing the violin, I never really did like. I'm so thankful that I did. I'm so thankful that I did the Suzuki method and all that shit. But like, I don't remember a time where I was like, yeah, let's practice right now. That sounds awesome to me, you know? Like, man, I'm making it sound like I just hated doing music in general, but no, I really liked doing music, but violin itself was, I was a lazy kid. I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to run around and go play and stuff like that. I didn't want to like do any disciplined activities at all. So, but I was thankful that I think I practiced violin probably like 2 hours every day as a kid. Wow. So yeah, it was intense. Yeah.
So even though you maybe wanted to be running around, you were putting in the work, and like
I was, yeah.
I would imagine that was also like pretty foundational for your music future, having to learn an instrument that's so difficult.
Extremely foundational. I would say the most foundational thing that violin gave me was the ear training stuff. There's this program for violin. It's called Suzuki. Like most people who do violin do Suzuki, but it's very ear training focused, where you have to identify intervals. Like my teachers, the best thing that my teachers ever did for me when I was younger was they would do like melody memory exercises where they'd play a melody and then I'd have to play it back to them, and then they'd play a different melody and I'd have to play it back to them, and we'd do like hours of that. And that just set me up to do anything that I wanted to do musically. Like you can transition that skill to every other instrument, you know, as soon as you figure out the basics of whatever instrument. So, yeah.
So was your dad out and about playing gigs?
Well, he was in the big like the Tuscaloosa music scene, like the alt music scene when he was younger. He was a big guy in the Tuscaloosa music scene. He was in a band called Club Wig, but when he had us, he went lawyer mode, but he was still in bands like my whole childhood. Like I remember bands would come over and practice, and I would stand up at the top of the stairs and be like, "That's so fucking cool."
So you like knew that was like a tangible thing that you could do.
Yeah,
like not necessarily maybe like this could be my life pursuit, but like
I was like, I can do it though.
But people you had people around you
for sure
doing the thing.
I mean, since I saw him being in bands, I think that was all I ever wanted to do since I was a kid, was just I didn't see the point in doing anything else really other than that. I just thought it was so cool, you know.
When did maybe songwriting kick in for you then?
That's a great question. You know, I was classically trained, and my dad did play a lot of and my mom too. Like they both played a lot of music for me, but I was definitely like classically I kind of, because all I played was classical music, I didn't really think about songwriting, I guess.
Yeah.
I was definitely like composition minded.
Okay.
I was like, wow. I think when I was in 6th grade, we watched the Truman Show. We watched the Truman Show in like my English class or something like that. And I heard that Philip Glass is the soundtrack for that, and I heard that, and I was like, that's the coolest thing ever. And that's when I learned that. That's when I started playing piano. As I heard that soundtrack, and I was like, okay, that's fucking dope. And so after I started learning piano, that was when I started like writing things. Like violin is kind of like, because you can just do melodies and shit on it. So it didn't really lend itself well to like writing songs necessarily. But once I hopped on piano, that's all I did was just like I just writing as many, and it all sounded like Hans Zimmer or Philip Glass, or just like movie soundtracks.
Really influenced by these movie scores.
Absolutely, that's like, all I listened to was fucking movie soundtracks.
Would you ever like put stuff on mute and play along?
Oh yeah, like compose my own stuff all the time. Yeah, all the time.
That's awesome.
Yeah. No, film soundtracks was the most important thing to me, I think, growing up, for sure. I fucking loved film soundtracks. And then right after that I got into System of a Down, and that was when I was like, man, fuck film soundtracks.
What a juxtaposition those things are. Yeah.
Wake up,
Yeah. What do you think maybe, I don't know, moved you about the film soundtracks?
Well, I think that it's interesting. There's a lot of film, like there's a lot of compositions for movies that I think are way better because you have this kind of iconic visual that's going along with it. I think it enhances the music. Like I think they both kind of help each other out, so to speak. Like there's so many soundtracks to movies that if I just heard it as a song, I wouldn't give a fuck about it. You know what I mean? Like I'm not like, I wouldn't just put on the Jurassic Park theme and like, but I think because those images, especially all I did when I was a kid was like watch movies. That's all I like to do. And I think it was the kind of grandness of like seeing a brontosaurus for the first time and then equating music with that. Like I think visually, like that was how I approached music as a kid, was like through visuals, like being paired with visuals, I guess.
They just really kind of elevate each other.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
Yeah. I've mentioned this on this podcast a few times, but I got to go to, I don't know, it was probably like, I don't know, 15 years ago. I went to the Disney Music Hall in Los Angeles.
Oh, nice.
And it was a tribute to John Williams that night.
Bro, he's the best in the world.
And he was there. And
like, for real?
Scorsese was there.
Oh my God.
And Spielberg was there.
Whoa.
And maybe one or two other directors, and full orchestra was there. And they would like play the movie scenes, and the orchestra would play.
So it was like would they go scene by scene? Like they
they were kind of like chopping things up, so it wasn't like one continuous movie.
Sick, yeah.
But Spielberg and Scorsese like both like talked, about like how John like
he's the best,
really changed their films, and Spielberg was talking about like how fucking stupid the shark in Jaws was until he made that iconic music for it. And like that was like what gave the shark its teeth.
Yeah.
I just remember that like sticking with me.
No, it's literally everything. I watched Jaws literally last week. I've been on a big John Williams just tear recently. And I'm happy he's still with us doing stuff crazy right now,
Yeah.
But he's the best ever. A lot of people he stole from, Debussy and Ravel and Stravinsky and all this stuff. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm glad he stole, because like, I don't know, his orchestrations and like the instruments that he would choose, like a lot of his music is in like the specifics of his instrument choices and everything, and just like the textures that he would get out of stuff is just so crazy. He's literally the best. He defined film composing in a way that like he is like the film composer, in my opinion. Like he's like, every soundtrack he ever did was like it's like the most iconic melody that you'll ever hear in your life.
How do you feel like maybe that stuff is all like informed maybe the music that you're making today? Yeah,
I mean, it's funny because the music that I make today is like, I'd say kind of folky, experimentally indie, some of it, you know what I mean? Like it's singer-songwriter stuff. A lot of it is, you know, and that has like all of that classical training and all that stuff kind of just went out the window. For my own personal music, it goes out of the window. I mean, I think that my taste in music changes so often too, and it's always changed. Like as soon as I'll just kind of run something out until it's dead, essentially. Like any type of music, I just run it out until it's dead, and then just very quickly move on to whatever the next thing is, essentially. And so a lot of the times, like, it's actually very unintuitive. Like the classical training helps me with my ear, and it helps me to quickly create music, you know what I mean? But I mean, and I'm old. I'm older now, and so like after going into like the world of singer-songwriter stuff forever, now I feel like I've been listening to classical music again way more than I used to. You know, like Ravel and just all the impressionist stuff. I've been listening to that stuff, and it's just what's most shocking to me is just how much time did that fucking take to put a piece like that together? That's crazy. Like for me, like to make like Claire de Lune would be like, I would take me like 10 years to make something like that, and to like write it down on paper and all that, you know?
Well, how long did it take you to make Then It Leaves?
Probably about 3 years. Yeah, probably about 3 years. That's true. I didn't think about that. Yeah, that which is my Claire de Lune, I think. Yeah.
There is something, I don't know, listening to that EP though.
Yeah.
Like, and the way it moves and kind of flows together, like there's something like cinematic there to me, you know? Like with all the textures that are there. It's not just like you and an acoustic guitar or
That's
you
true.
and the piano.
That's true.
You know, like I think it feels like there's more depth there.
I do think that probably my approach to music will always be like almost like it's much more orchestrated, I think, than you know, there's a lot of bands that just like have the parts of the band or whatever, but I definitely can be a little like more orchestrated, I think, in some ways, or more like maximalist with my production choices or things like that, you know, that definitely comes from classical music. Like my whole childhood, I would go see the symphony all the time, and that's like, to me, like being in a big space like that is kind of that's my ideal way to, you know, I like if I ever, like people sitting down and watching would be my ideal way to perform music. You know, I just think that's just what I grew up with. And so, yeah, I do think I make music that's definitely influenced orchestration wise by classical music and stuff like that.
Do you remember when you first started writing lyrics?
Yeah, when did I first start writing lyrics? I think I would have been in like 7th grade or 8th grade. I wrote like a Christmas song, but it was like a dark Christmas song or something. It was like this abstract Christmas song that I thought was like genius at the time. I haven't recorded
Too much of that Brian Eno as a kid, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Really got inside of you.
Yeah. What if Christmas was like a fucking? What if we were on like a spacecraft for Christmas? That'd be crazy. Yeah. No, I don't. Yeah. What if Santa was super depressed? You know, how would that go?
What if Santa didn't like Christmas?
Yeah. What if Santa was done forever? He's having problems with Mrs. Claus. That's what Then It Leaves is about. But no, yeah. I think I always hated writing lyrics. Like writing lyrics was always my least favorite fucking thing to do. I love it now. Now it's probably like my favorite out of all of the things to do is to write lyrics. But when I was a kid, I was like. Up until I mean all of high school I was making and recording full songs in high school and stuff like that, but I started writing lyrics, I think, consciously probably around 7th grade, I think, and it would just be me with my journal in class, like writing, like, you know, using the newest word that I heard about, you know, paradigm or whatever, you know, paradigm. Yeah.
Do you feel like even at that age you were kind of like using it as this way to process the world around you in some way?
That's a good question. I think that's like probably inherently part of all music making is like there's a processing element. But I think I was much more, I think honestly, just the dopamine that music gave me was more important than kind of the narrative of, I think I just loved playing music. Like it just gave me so much dopamine to play music. Like, which, I mean, that's a way of processing something, but I think it was more drug-like than kind of a processing situation for me. It was just, and it's still that way, honestly. Like, it's still more just like, it just feels good, I think. Although now, I mean, I think once you start writing, I do think once you start writing, that does become like the processing aspect of music for sure. Like, the music itself just provides dopamine or lack thereof, or a mood or anything like that. But I think, once you start writing, you start constructing some sort of narrative about yourself. That's,
Did you spend most of your high school days like that's what you did with your free time, was play music?
Yeah, I went to an arts high school for like 3 years. It was actually 7th, 8th, and 9th grade. I went to the Alabama School of Fine Art. That's Omari also went there as well. Yeah. And
so you guys have been friends for a long time.
We didn't know each other there. Yeah, we didn't meet until I must have been like 24. Okay. He must have been like 21 or something at the time, and maybe 22. I forget our age gap, but he's we didn't know each other there, but we had been hearing rumors of each other all about town, like these guys are doing cool music or whatever, But all I did in high school was just music, and I failed out of the art school because I just didn't do my homework. So they kicked me out of there, but I went to a different high school in Alabama, and I started doing a lot of theater stuff there. Okay. So, but the whole time it was all just music. Like, music was the real thing going on for me,
Was there a lot of playing music with other people, or was it usually a solo endeavor?
I would say 50-50. I was in a band in high school. I was in a couple different bands in high school. Never was like the lead character in any of those bands really, and which I don't know why now looking back. I'm like, I could have gotten up there, but I think I felt more comfortable just playing a backup role of some sort or something like that. But I was in a couple like punk bands and shit like that in high school, and I didn't like it. I mean, one of them, the Dead Balloons, shout out the Dead Balloons. I did like that, but I in high school I was pretending like I liked punk music a lot of the time, or
you're just like going home and listening to your classical music.
Exactly, listening to Rhapsody in Blue or whatever.
And were you always kind of picking up other instruments along the way?
I definitely. Anytime I see a new instrument, it's definitely the first impulse is to learn how to play at least something on it as quickly as possible, except for wind and brass instruments. Okay. I can do a little clarinet, but I don't fucking get that shit. I have no lung capacity because of this. So yeah.
But you've always been able to figure out the others to some degree.
I mean, I think once you understand basic music theory, or even just like, ground level music theory, or ground level just using your ear, I think it's so easy to just learn whatever, honestly. String instruments are I was lucky that I started with violin, because like you can't pick up a cello and just play it immediately, you know what I mean? But you kind of can pick up a piano. Well, I can't pick up a piano, but you can pick up the piano and start doing that pretty easily. And guitar, I think, is also like you can pick that up and start going for it like easier than fucking violin or tuba or whatever,
Yeah.
So, I started playing guitar when I was 14, and Radiohead was sort of my guiding light with learning how to play guitar. I just learned every single Radiohead song on guitar, and that was
all you needed.
And I never learned anything else, really. That's like basically where I stopped. So,
I'd imagine like having some knowledge of all of those things has definitely been helpful to your songwriting.
Yeah.
Because you have you're not just digging into one bag for inspiration, or just like a foundational tool to start writing the music.
I haven't picked up a guitar and written on guitar in so long. I just can't anymore because I don't know anything else other than what I've already done. So like I've definitely been doing a lot more stuff on piano, like recently, like when I'm writing songs, I write everything on piano now. But
even something like Backroad Boys.
Backroad Boys, that was guitar. I mean, I recorded that. Me and Graham recorded that fucking maybe 3 years ago now.
Okay.
All of those songs were pretty old by the time that I got them out, you know. That one was one of my last. I mean, that's maybe I'm maybe being hyperbolic. I still pick up and play the guitar, but I literally, it's like I'm just watching myself do exactly the same thing, and it's just like it's not very inspiring to me a lot of the time now. So I have to take other approaches into songwriting now. Do
you think the piano is more inspiring because you're more capable, or you can challenge yourself differently with it, or what?
I think my capabilities are probably about the same on each instrument, which is like I can strum both of them. Like I can strum the piano and I can strum the guitar. You know, like that's like that's kind of the finale of my abilities there. But
humble.
Yeah, humble. I mean, I'm not really being humble. Like, especially if you hang out with the people the musicians that I hang out with, I'm like, okay, I can write a song. You know, that's what I can do. I can play the violin, but the piano to me, I think what I've been trying to do with the piano is it's just more organizational to me, and I'm trying to. I think a lot of the songs that I've written in the past, I don't have like. How do I say this? I don't have an organizational approach to songwriting, like the parts or anything. Like they don't feel, they're just kind of whatever I'm doing. Like I think lately I've been trying to be more focused on like voicings and like more particular aspects of like instrument playing. Like, does that voicing sound good with this? Does that note sound good with that? And I think it's just easier on piano to be more precise with what you're looking for, you know?
Yeah.
I wish you could slide on a piano though. That's my only sadness there, is that you can't, you know? But I got the violin for that when it's necessary. But
what sparked your move to Portland?
I was at Alabama, just the state of Alabama.
Had you ever been here?
Yeah, I went here one time. My aunt actually lives here, so okay. I did have that part of my family here. They live across the river. They live in Beaverton, and I had come here and visited them, and I hiked Dog Mountain with my cousin, and then right after that, I joined the Coast Guard, and I lasted in boot camp for about 2 weeks, and then I said, I gotta get the fuck out of here right now. So I fucking after I left the Coast Guard, and then I had like a big breakup too, and then I was like, I gotta move somewhere, and I kind of just Portland, because my aunt lived here. I was like, I'm just gonna go for it. So yeah.
Similar story, not the Coast Guard part.
I was wondering, did you join the military?
I didn't.
Okay,
joining on the military, but
don't recommend it.
Sometimes you get a breakup and you feel like you need to just get out.
That was probably the real thing, honestly. I was like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. Fuck this place.
Did you have much aspirations of playing music here?
That's all I wanted to do here was, and it only took me about 8 years to finally start doing it, you know what I mean? But, I mean, it was a struggle for the first, 5 years of me living here, honestly. I was just constantly unstable and unsteady, just financially, and trying to find the time and the energy to work on music, but COVID certainly helped to put a little more time in my pocket. So but is any of it, as far as maybe the amount of live shows that you've played in the city since you've been here? Yeah.
When did you move here?
Moved here in 2016.
Okay, so you're like your 10-year mark.
Coming up on 10 years.
And let's say, being generous, maybe you've played 7 shows.
That's generous. That is generous. Yeah.
And if I missed a few of actually being there,
no, you have been my greatest patron so far. You really have though. You've been there. You are the most going toist of my shows of any person.
I've been to 4 out of the 5 I knew about.
Yeah. I honestly, if we're being generous, I think 5 is the real number. I mean, I loved playing shows, but I think when I first got to Portland, I was doing just open mics and stuff like that. And then I think at some point I decided I just need to focus on recording music. I just need to focus on doing recorded music. Like, it just felt more important to me. I'm like, I didn't see a great future of like doing live shows the way that I was doing it and getting what I wanted out of it, I think. And so I switched all of my energy and all of my attention over to being as good at producing as I possibly could be for an amount of time, you know?
I guess that's what I was going to ask. If there was elements of it that you felt were kind of calculated about like not playing live shows.
Absolutely. Yeah. I didn't want to, I mean, I'm kind of changing my mind about this now, but I didn't want to be vulnerable in any way until I felt like I had cooked the best possible dish and put it on a silver plate and given it to, you know.
So what does it feel like now when you're playing live shows? Like, I would say the most recent live show I saw you play before the release show was that solo set you did at Second Story.
Oh yeah,
which
the Second Story.
Cool.
Yeah,
like that was such a
that was a great show. Yeah,
great show, and
I think now I want to be playing shows as much as humanly possible. I think I just ripped the Band-Aid off of like I was listening back to some of the recordings from the Kenton Club, and I was like, man, I fucking, my voice fucking sucked. But I'm like, it didn't. Like, you just aren't used to hearing yourself do this, and I need to go through that process of like letting my voice be heard the way that it is in whatever capacity, and being okay with it, I guess.
Yeah. What is that feeling, maybe playing the solo show at this point versus what you feel playing with the band on stage?
I like playing with the band so much more. I mean, there's certain aspects of the solo show, especially if I'm doing like something interesting that a solo person could do, like the loop pedal stuff. That was really fun to do as a solo act, but because that was like, look what I can do by myself. But I think that, like, I don't know, the power of having people playing behind you and with you is just like amazing. Like, and I had never, the Kenton Club show was the first time I really experienced people playing my music with me, and extraordinarily competent musicians who all added their own elements to it and recontextualized the stuff on the album, and like whatever they want to do, I was like, that sounds fucking fantastic. So
it's kind of trust.
I would much rather do that, like, for going from here on out. So I need to hit up the boys to get some more shows cooking. Yeah, Coachella next year. You know? Do you feel like you had much of an approach to leading that, as far as like maybe rehearsals you had leading up to that show, and like the way that you wanted to approach being a band leader in some way? I mean, I think that you just have to lean into whatever the talents of the specific people are, like whatever specific people can bring. And I feel like there was some parts of the live show where you know, on the first song, Meeting in the Park, off the EP, at the very end of that, there's this extra little tag on song. It's kind of like, sounds like an old soul song or something like that. Yeah. For the live show, we turned that into like a 7-minute long song of its own, and that's my favorite one to play out of all of them, because that one I just let all those guys just do whatever they wanted, and I gave everybody, like, you know, at least like a minute or two each of just like, do whatever you want to do here. And I do feel like, honestly, in the future, like especially with recording, I think I want to approach it in like a band way in general, because like there's just so many things you find out when you play together in a live setting, like what actually works. And I don't want to write like in Ableton anymore. You know what I mean? I would rather write everything live and have like parts prepared and stuff like that, and then just go in on it like that. So, yeah. But those guys are just the best. Zach, Ian, Kirk, Graham. They're all the best at their instruments. So yeah.
Fun to hear their live interpretations of maybe the stuff that was going to translate differently than the record.
Totally. Yeah. It was great to have Graham on there too, because he had such a big hand in the EP as well, and to have him playing live was so sick as well. Like, he's the best piano player out there, so it was just awesome.
Was in my bed, a stranger or a king, a bird that flew right past my head. is circling. It dangles on a string. Nobody knew I had this thing. Pulls in, whistles in.
Yeah, what did he do in the process of like making the EP that like really helped you along?
I would say more than like I think on the actual EP, like the I would say the EP itself, like he would add a couple instruments or stuff like that, certain songs, except for Backroad Boys, which was definitely like a full joint venture. I think we both got pretty high and were just strumming. I was strumming this guitar line, and we used to live about 5 feet away from each other. We lived upstairs at the same house, and so whenever I was playing something that he liked, he would just come in and be like, "Yo, man, what's that? That's cool." And so he came in, and then we just I think I wrote like the first 2 lines, and then it just became a joint venture after that, but the rest of it, I mean, was like more just like he just added drums or just like a bass line or something like that. But I think more so, like, I think this applies to both Graham and Omari, and it's why I think both of them in there is that they were both just filled me with confidence for the years leading up to me actually releasing music. I think every time I finished something, I was like, whatever, it's fine. And I think that they were both there of just like, bro, like, put it out, finish it and put it out, like, stop, lollygagging or whatever. So I think emotionally is probably the most important contribution that both those guys made to the EP.
Yeah, because you and Omari have made a decent amount of music together.
We got tons. We got tons of stuff. So yeah. We hopefully we'll release some of that, and yeah, he's got some crazy stuff coming up soon. So yeah, he's so good. He's the best. Yeah, he's the best in the world.
Yeah, man, I feel like like the people that knew that you had your own music and like were like playing these shows every once in a while. Mm-hmm. It's just like, I feel like all those people, I was just like talking to somebody about it like the other day, and just they're like, yeah, they all think Elliot's the best. Like, just quietly the best songwriter in the city, just chilling,
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah.
So it was like really exciting to finally like get to hear this record. And,
Thank you, man.
Some recorded music from you, Like,
I really appreciate it.
I'm curious, like, what made you feel ready to put this out? Or like, I don't know, I know you said you had Graham and Omari maybe boosting you up and telling you to like just finish the shit, but like what felt good about this collection of tunes to where you were like, it's done, like it's ready, and this is like what I'm proud to share?
That's such a great question. I don't think even when I released it that I was ready to release it, you know what I mean? Like, the day that I released it, I remember right after I posted it, I just cried because I was like, this is what are people going to think of me after I release this dog shit pile of shit, I know, I'm not trying to get compliments or anything, but that was what was going through my head. Like, that was genuinely what was going through my head. I don't think that about it anymore, and I didn't really think it at the time, but it's just like, it's just this horrible feeling of that like self-doubt, showing your ass on the internet and everything. But
do you think that's also like the amount of time that you've taken to put something out, where it's like, what are people going to think after I've like taken all of this time and like finally putting something out?
Yeah, it's and like this has to be my fucking Beethoven's first symphony or whatever right now. Like, it's been so long, and but I mean, I know it's not that big of a deal. Like, it's just whatever it is, But I think that the real reason that I put this collection of songs out is I think those songs felt to me genuinely like the best representation of where they felt like I actually saw them through. Like, I think I had a lot of songs before that where it felt like 75%, it felt like there was a vision, but it didn't end somewhere. But all of these ones, they felt like I really saw them through, and I think I just believed in like the ethos of all the songs, and I connected with the songs. After sitting on them and doing tiny tweaks for 2 years on them, they started to sound like dog food to me. They just started to sound like I couldn't even hear what they sounded like anymore. You know what I mean? So, but each of those, I listened to them and I was like, I like these songs. These are good songs, and I think they deserve to be heard by other people. So, yeah, I think that's the real reason.
Yeah.
And they also felt like they had a narrative. It felt like a narrative was inside of there in some capacity, very abstract narrative, but a narrative nonetheless.
Yeah. It all feels like it belongs together.
Yeah.
They were all written at pretty different times, though.
Those were actually all written pretty much around the same time, except for Meeting in the Park, which that one was such a fucking hassle. Honestly, I hate that one. I went to like different studios, and I went to Studio 606, which they're great, and I recorded most of it there. But then I just sat on it, and I reformed that one like 90 times. Like there was like 5 different B sections. It was like a Paranoid Android type of fucking odyssey for a bit of time, but I definitely like scooped it down and then just plopped this other song at the end of it. So I think but most of them they're all about the same period. They're like narratively too, they're all about the same period of time in my life. So I think that was probably the biggest thing as well.
Yeah. It feels pretty deeply personal.
It's very personal. Yeah.
And I think that's why like it resonates heavy. Like, for me at least. I'm sure that's why it connects with other people. But yeah, it's just kind of like this overwhelming sense of emotion listening to it. And I guess I'm just curious like what it feels like to share these songs both like in the live setting and as a record. And is that part of like the nervousness of putting it out? Or
yeah, I think especially because all those songs are about another person, you know what I mean? And I felt more just like it does feel like somebody reading your diary or something like that, like, and you also don't want to like make it feel weird for anybody. And you have to keep a certain amount of what actually went on to yourself, but you also want to be as honest about the narrative or just like what's going on as possible. I think in some places I was very, 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 like, I mean, Riverboat Lights, that song that's just a exact recounting. There's actually not even really much like the music is emotional, but the lyrics are literally just like, I went here, I did this, this happened. Yeah, literally, it's just one after the other of just it's like just like facts.
Well, that's kind of like, I think that's why that song is so cool though. And then it kind of like goes back to what we were talking about as far as like music really elevating something, because it's like all about the tone of the music that you set to that thing. Yeah. And I would imagine if you tried different things with it, it could have felt very different.
Yeah, that was that's exactly it. Those two juxtaposed each other really. I mean, that's especially the way I'm singing. Like on other songs, I'm singing like melodies, like rhythmic melodies. On that one, I'm like just like I'm just singing. I'm just talking essentially, like and so I think that was definitely, I was listening to a good amount of like Mount Erie at that point too, and just like Bill Callahan and stuff like that. And I was kind of trying my hand sort of at like that kind of music where you're just talking and letting the music do the heavy lifting emotionally, I guess.
We went to the patio. Smoked by the fire. Gave me some Molly. It was my very first time.
Well, I think you did a good job of like, I don't know. I don't necessarily like listening to it. It was like, oh, this whole thing is about like one other person or something. Yeah. So I think
you said you didn't feel that way.
No. Yeah,
that's
I did
good.
not.
That's
so
good.
Like I feel like there's enough mystery there. Obviously, like that song we were just talking about, like you can tell
that's
like,
clearly about one person. Yeah,
we're talking about this soul experience. But what was it like? Maybe exploring the boundaries there and like maybe being respectful within the boundaries.
I think you have to, because I think that it's really important to not. You can say what I think you can say what your perspective is and how you were feeling, and that was definitely like a processing of a really important times to me, but I was trying to be as mindful as possible about like how, and it's a lot of it is about one person, and then but there's other elements that or there's some songs that are just talking about me and just my feelings, and then there's songs about other people on there as well, but I think that there is, you do have to be conscious of like, it's your diary, it's not somebody else's diary. So like and you also don't want to, there's part of Riverboat Lights that was like a genuinely one of the most important moments of my life. And so like when you're writing the song, you're like, wow, I really, that I just wrote a song about the most important moment of my life. And then when you show it to somebody else, it does have kind of a bad feeling to it when you show it to somebody else, because you're like, it's like a part of the memory. It's like you're handing part of that light of the memory to somebody else. And I don't think I really, because I'd never released music before, I don't think I really realized how that would feel until I started handing that out to other people. And I'm really glad people love that song and relate to it and find something inside of it. But I do think from here on out, I'm probably going to be a little more cryptic about
Yeah, that was definitely one of the ones that stuck with me the night that you played at Second Story. I remember you playing that song.
That was before I released the so that's
I was like, damn, that's a cool song.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
What do you feel like the expression of songwriting does for you that you can't maybe do in everyday conversation? Or do you feel like there's a barrier at all?
It's interesting. I think that it's something I'm actually trying to get away from a little bit in a way, which is, I think that songwriting for me, the way that I've approached it a lot is you can cinematize moments from your life and kind of run it through this musical cinematic thing or whatever, like you can soundtrack moments from your life, and you can make the listener feel a type of way about, you're telling them a story and then you're also telling them how to feel about it, and so you're talking to somebody, but you're kind of insisting that they understand how you felt about it on the way, with the music, I guess. I think that's kind of something I'm trying to get away from, and for the future of my songwriting is like cinematizing big moments of my life. I don't want to I'd rather write lyrics that function more as like poetry, I think, or something inside of the words themselves, instead of explaining events or explaining a thing that happened. I'd rather it works as its own thing, almost outside of the music or something like that, but I do think that, your question was, why do I do that instead of just talking, essentially?
No, not necessarily, but I don't know. That seems like it's like a common thing for people, where they're just, you find a different level of comfort doing it through the music rather than like the way that you would be able to do in conversation. And maybe that's just because also with a conversation, you're only doing that in real time. Like maybe you can prepare for a conversation, but like with a song, you kind of get to keep trying the thing over and over until you get it right, or until you get it to communicate the thing that you wanted to communicate. And you don't always get that opportunity maybe in conversation.
Absolutely. Yeah, you definitely, there's almost like a dishonesty inside of songwriting to a certain extent of like, you kind of get to perfect this narrative in your own way. And like a lot of the songs that I've written so far, I look back on it and I'm like, man, that didn't happen like that. like what? Yeah, you're making that up. But, I guess the goal should be to try to make it as honest or as blunt as possible, or as not trying to get too flowery or away from the reality of the situation, I guess. But songwriting does give you that opportunity. It gives you time to be as honest as you want to, as you can be, I guess, about anything that's going on in your life,
So what does digging in more into like the poetic side of things look like for you? And is there a thing there where you have to like be careful that you're not trying too hard to like do the thing that you're talking about?
I know. Yeah. You don't ever want to be a poet singer guy. You just don't want to do that.
You don't
Literally
want that for your
nobody
life.
wants to listen to a fucking poet guy or whatever. I think just what I mean is like, I don't want to do like poetry necessarily. I want to do like, I don't know, just like when you listen to like Joni Mitchell or whatever, like sometimes she's just describing events, but most of the time it's like her words are they're existing like for themselves. I don't know how to describe it really, but like her words are telling their own story. It's not, I think for me, I really just want to get away from like autobiographical shit in general. Like I want to either tell a story about somebody else, or I want to just let the words kind of fall where they want to, or be what they want to be, instead of trying to force this. You know, I read this there's this book called The Triggering Town that I've read about 2 pages of it, and but it gave me the best advice ever, which is that you don't know what a thing is about. You don't know what a song is about, or that's about poetry. That's about writing poetry. But you don't know what a poem or a song is about until you get to the end of it. Like, and so you got to stop. You got to take, like, a lot of times I'll be writing a song and then I try to force a narrative into the song. Like I try to force, this is what this is going to be about. And then every line has to relate to this kind of central thesis statement. That's what I want to get away from, is like letting it go where it wants to go, instead of trying to put my foot inside of it and make it be about something necessarily.
Yeah.
You know,
having too much of this like preconceived idea.
Yeah, meaning. I kind of want to get away from meaning in general. Meaning's cooked. Meaning is over.
It's over, dude. Quit trying to do it.
Yeah, stop meaning. Yeah.
Poor helpless little me sings in and out of key. But it's high tonight, and I ruined tonight with the scream.
What was the process like of fitting all of these things together so that it would kind of play as this continuous mixtape in some way, or just the way the record flows from track to track?
Yeah, I think that was really easy. It just felt natural to me. I mean, you know, I say like those songs flow together, but in some ways they don't really flow together. Like
right.
Riverboat Lights into Backroad Boys doesn't make any sense at all. It literally doesn't. There's not a thematic, but in the context of the EP, I think it works. In the context of like basically the EP starts out super high energy, and then it kind of just dies yes. and dies over the next 4 songs. It just kind of gets like, until you get to the end of Riverboat Lights, and it's like, the fuck, it's like some terrible mushroom trip that you had, like thinking about something, and then you get to Backroad Boys and it's some kumbaya fucking bullshit, you know?
Something to take you home, you know?
But that's what I liked about it. I liked how I think that instead of trying to like make I think the only real transition that I made is between Poor Helpless Little Me and Riverboat Lights, and just that synth sound that kind of goes into the next thing. But other than that, it's a lot of just like, whoa, okay, I guess we're here now. And yeah. I think if I had released the EP maybe a year before I did, I think I would have done these super cool, like flowery transitions, like where one blooms into the next or whatever. But I think I was also just so sick of those songs at that point in time that I was like, man, fuck it, let's just put it out right now. Like, you know,
I think that there's something about it not having that does do something for the storytelling and the narrative there.
I want it to be a bit jarring, and I'm trying to go anti-cinematic, even though the songs are clearly cinematic. I think I'm just trying to go not in a not cinematic direction. Like, I just want things to just, and then you just end up somewhere different, you know?
Yeah. So what is this, the Monstrosity collection of tunes?
That is just a collection of everything that I'd never released in the previous 5 years, essentially.
Are those like those things where you're like, these are 75%
Yeah.
what like I wanted them to be, or like they just didn't go?
Yeah, I mean, I probably have about 1,000 more fucking 75%ers out there, but those were the ones that felt the most done to me. And I think after I burst the bubble of releasing Then It Leaves, I was like, man, fuck it. Like,
Yeah.
and then sold it on Bandcamp, got some money too from it. So I was like, that's cool as well. And it's also like, I'm also just trying to be better to myself as well and be like, I worked really hard. Like, each one of those songs I spent at least like a month on, you know what I mean? And it's like, why would I all that work, like I'm allowed to show it to people, you know, like that's just how I felt about it.
Yeah. They definitely feel different than the EP.
Absolutely. The EP is feels like a body of work. I think the album, it feels like you know, System of a Down steal this album sort of vibes, like just in terms of like, oh, there's just a bunch of random ass songs kind of put together.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Some great tracks on there.
Thank
dude.
you,
Like,
thank you.
Yeah, that Northern Lights track. It's
Yeah.
one that like sticks out to me.
that's like the earliest one. That's like the oldest one out of all
Okay.
of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was in my James Blake copying era too.
Felt a little different though, putting that out into the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you think you've burst the bubble.
The bubble is burst.
You think maybe just a little less precious maybe about sharing the stuff now?
Oh yeah. Well, we'll see in 5 years when I release my next fucking album. No, I definitely I have a couple other things that, I mean, I have one other thing that I'm basically finished with already, and although we probably won't be seeing that for a minute, but yeah, I'm definitely in my releasing music era now, so I'm gonna ride that wave out.
You've gotten to play music with Graham and his Quickly project for a good amount of time now. I'm curious like what that experience is like for you, and maybe how that kind of informs your own music and the way that you want to present the music live.
Yeah, I think, well, meeting Graham, I met Graham right before COVID happened, you know, and we just became such great friends, and just were making music together constantly all the time as soon as we met each other. And I mean, working with him, I would say working with him on just music itself has been way more life-changing, I think, than, I mean, I love playing in his band too, but I think it was more just collaborating with him musically that definitely shifted a lot of my approach in terms of, because he is a productive member of society when it comes to music. He doesn't, I would sit there just meditating and thinking like, what should go, but he just pumps shit out, and all the better for it. Like that's like his process. And I think seeing him do that, like quickly is an apt name for him. He works really, really fast. And I think that was the thing that changed my perspective. Like working with him on that was what changed my perspective on how to make recorded music more than anything, was just like stop being so precious about everything and just like move forward and like get it done. Like finish this track right now. It's not that big of a deal. Just finish the track. You know what I mean? Yeah. That definitely helped. I think playing live with him, I mean, that helped my pedal setup, certainly. I think it's also been nice to just be, since I wasn't playing my own shows for a while, I think it was nice to still be in contact with being on stage and playing and just feeling comfortable on stage, you know, because sometimes I fucking hated being on stage or hated being looked at, but now I'm pretty much over it. Now I love it. Now I feed off of, I'm like Lady Gaga. I'm here for the applause right now.
Yeah. I'd imagine it feels pretty different too when you're not fronting the band. And
it's so much easier
when
you're
up there and just play music.
It's so much easier when you're not. You can start thinking about like what you're gonna eat later on that day and stuff like that too. Like, because the parts on guitar are just so locked in at that point in time. Like, but you know, there's an adrenaline that you get. There was a show that we played on the Europe tour where we all got so fucking sick. We all got terribly sick. Graham got sick right before I did, and I had to go on. We played in Manchester, and I sang all of his songs for the Manchester show live.
Oh, I remember seeing him post something like,
yeah, that was a
sing.
fucking nightmare, honestly. I mean, I feel like I pulled it off, and I was like,
You're just basically in a quickly cover band.
I was, with him playing the keys. Yeah, we got Graham playing keys. Yeah, no, that was crazy. At some point I was like, I wrote this album about a breakup that I went through and, all that type of shit. But, no, I was just, I really appreciate just being able to be on stage still though, honestly. And now that my stuff is here, I'm hoping to be putting my stuff on stage as often and as thoroughly as possible. So,
yeah. As far as like finishing things and just like putting it out, like what do you think the keys are for you to getting out of your own way with that? Like kind of moving forward.
Money. I mean, money honestly is like a big barrier. I think that people don't talk about, especially if you're just a fucking struggling artist, like doing whatever the latest gig is, like I think that I had to find, and Jeff, who works over at Eulipian, who owns Eulipian, it's a label in town. Omari works for them as well. They helped me out with some of the prices, with mastering and paying for the photo shoot for the album cover and all that type of stuff. Honestly, I know that it might seem insignificant to releasing something, but that helped so much, honestly. That was everything, because I didn't want to put it out unless I had something, and then I showed them the EP and they were down with it, and so they helped fund that, and then then but I think with the psychological level of it, I think I wish I could go back and just release things the way they were or whatever, but my process was that I basically drove myself obsessively crazy and just spent about a final month, because I think I was like 32. I'm like, man, I haven't fucking released music, and so I had just finished up like a big project, and I was like, man, fuck it, like I'm about to spend a month in the basement and then when I get out of the basement, that's whatever that is what I'm going to, it was more just like obsessive behavior than it was. I don't think I want to do it like that. If I were to give advice to people, I'd just say, be kind to yourself. Like, just let yourself go at your own pace. But I think I had been doing that for too long. And after a certain point in time where I was like, all right, let's just fucking climb the mountain real quick and then come back down,
Yeah.
So, but I think from here on out, I think being kind to myself is probably the way to get it done. So
please do.
Yeah.
Please do. What do you think about your early songwriting? Maybe even back in high school.
Yeah.
Do you feel like there's any pieces of that in the music that you make now? Just even the way that you approach things?
Of how I used to write songs?
Yeah. Like, do you see glimpses of that?
Mm-hmm. I mean, definitely. Yeah. I'm still, I really can't overstate how important Radiohead was to me when I was in high school, and I think since then.
Sorry, I didn't put any Radiohead records out.
Yeah, what's going on, man?
They're somewhere.
We got Julia Jacqueline. We got Omari Jazz.
We got some people you don't know who they are.
Is that Steely Dan?
No,
it looks
Steely
like
Dan's down here.
Oh,
though.
there it is.
Yeah,
Whoa,
yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. That wasn't intentional. This is a Mick Jenkins record.
Oh, Mick Jenkins.
Yeah,
nice. Shout out Mick Jenkins.
Yeah. Anyway,
I think what I was gonna say is that I think a lot of my songwriting when I was in high school was very like Radiohead, like that sort of stuff. And I think I made an intentional effort, like after high school and after college, to be like, I got to get away from, because I just sounded exactly like Tom York. I literally sounded, everything I did sounded just like him. So I was like, I need to intentionally get away from that. But I think regardless of all that shit, I think there is an emotion-centered thing that I've always been an emotions-centered person, like very like cry oriented or wanting people to cry, or I think there's something Cancerian about my songwriting that has kind of stuck around since I was a little kid. I think the mission statement of how I want people to feel has always been the same ever since I was even a little kid with music, you know. Very specific mood that I want people to feel.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, it's beautiful music, dude.
Thank you, man.
I'm so excited that you put some music into the world that I can like regularly listen to.
I really appreciate
Selfishly,
it. Yeah.
I'm very stoked about it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're definitely like, yeah, you're one of my favorites, man.
Thank
like,
you, man.
I feel very grateful for like the time that I've been here and the amount of music that I've gotten to hear come out of this city. And like when I like listen to this EP, like it's definitely like one of the projects that like stands out. And you could say maybe that's like because it's fresh, you know. But
yeah,
like,
let's give it some time.
To
Let's
me,
see if it stands the test
like
of time.
Definitely one of the things that I'm like, oh, this is like all time for me. Like one of my favorite things that like has come out of the city since I've like been here. And yeah, it's just like pleasure to get to like watch you play music. And
thank you so much, man.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. And I was just thinking on the way over here, I was like, man, he's really been supporting you for the longest time in Portland. Like you really have been there since the big, like you saw the infancy stage, the larval stage of me and all that shit. And I really appreciate you like constantly, like whenever you hear I have a show or anything, you're there. And I really appreciate that.
Yeah, man, I'm happy to get to show up for it. And like, yeah, it's cool to get to see the growth of the thing.
Thanks,
too,
man.
And
Yeah.
like observe that. And I'm sorry I've bugged you so many times over the years about doing this thing.
Yeah. Well,
it was important that you did it.
Yeah.
I don't know how much longer I'm going to do this thing. And it's important to me that we had an episode with you.
I'm glad I got in just in time. I hope people stick around for what's coming next because it couldn't be more different from what I've been doing. So hopefully you'll still stand by me through the, you know.
I can confidently say that I think I'm just like all in.
Okay,
like
cool.
Wherever the adventure goes.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. It's about to go in some very wacko directions. So yeah.
How do you feel about our chat here?
I feel great. This is wonderful. Yeah. Great questions.
You did a great job.
Nobody ever asked me about me. So
well, I'll put all the links in the episode notes so people can keep up with you.
Okay, sick.
Check out the Then It Leaves record, which is available on all of the streaming services. And
listen
then
to it now.
Monstrosity is just on Bandcamp. And you can buy it there.
Yeah,
you can support. You can support.
Support me.
It's important.
It's important to support them.
We end every episode of the podcast with the guest saying the tagline for the show, which is "It's a program," and it means absolutely nothing. It's just the way that my grandfather says program.
My grandparents said it the same way when they were talking about like television shows.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
I'll turn on the news program. Or like, what's your school program? It's the one time I'll ask you to look at the camera that's on the desk here. If we can get the Elly, it's a program. You can deliver it however you want to. I'm sorry, I don't have any looping pedals.
Good. It's a program. Hey y'all, it's a program.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Nailed it. That's Elly, everybody. Links will be in the episode notes. We're going to play it out with a little Kumbaya, a little Back Road Boys.
You put it down
from the Then It Leaves record. And that's the Jelly Jams. And we will catch you on the flip side, Portland.
Thank you for
wherever
watching.
you're listening from. We did it.
Woo!
Hell yeah, dude.
That was awesome.
That was so good.
Damn, let's go. Yeah, how did I do? Did I do all right? Okay, cool.
Spending time where a nickel would do. A little much or a little too few. You kept me up and I kept you up too. Stuck in the mud or stuck like